So I have some updates regarding our feature. First of all, bro, I can't believe that I'm finishing writing this script that I had first on deck in 2 fucking weeks. I'm already at like page 73 and I'm going to be at 90 by the end of the day tomorrow. So it's like I'm feeling really good about my pace now. Writing, dude, it's the best script I've ever written. I feel like I'm like firing on all cylinders. It feels really good. So it's coming at a perfect time. I'm meeting with Ken on Saturday to solidify what we're going to do. But I wanted to bring something up to you because initially, when we were talking concept wise, you mentioned the social aspect of horror. And I have this idea that I wanted to run by you and kind of get your take on it. And obviously, meeting with Ken, I'm going to get his take too, and we'll solidify it there. So it could end up with a completely different idea. But the police response to Nashville was unbelievable with that school shooting. Did you get a chance to read anything about that or see the video or anything?
Just that there was a body cam and that they like went in there. Did one of them die or two of them die?
You mean cop wise?
Yeah.
I'm not sure cop wise. I know like 3 adults, like 3 kids still died. But compared to Uvalde, like last year, where the cops were just like hanging around outside and not doing anything for like an hour while kids were being shot,
Yeah.
it seeing the body cam video of the Nashville shooting was like, bro, those were fucking heroes, man. I mean, it's such a topical thing. This is something that I wanted to do for a while when it comes to school shootings and horror, but I was never able to really come up with an angle that was like sensitive enough or politically correct. It is such a topical kind of hot button thing. Um, and I feel like the best horror takes what's like going on in society, but people don't want to talk about.
Mhm.
I feel like you and Tanner potentially could make really good cops.
Yeah.
My angle into this is highlighting the cowardice of cops, that being the main focus. We have this backdrop of, school shootings and like the parents' experience, kids' experience. I would like that for all to, if we end up going this way, I'd like for all that to be a part of this. But the version that I'm kind of thinking now, and this is all a pitch, bro. So I'm curious to hear your thoughts. But the version that I'm thinking now is if you were to play a cop who who did not perform on the day that, in the most heroic way, and kids died because of it, you dealing with that, going through all those emotions and everything, we're
Yeah.
not necessarily sympathizing with you, even though I would want, it's like a tricky balance because, yeah, like I would want to make it, I would want to make you the focus. But the horrors that come through it, and this is the only angle that I feel like we would even be able to get away with, even approaching this thing, because school shootings unfortunately happen all the time. And like with movie releases and everything, like it could be at a really unfortunate time. But I would want to comment on, I feel like a bystander is almost as bad as the perpetrator. And so if in this film the shooter died and you start seeing the shooter, you start seeing visions of the kids, but the shooter, if there's a pivotal moment where he's like, we are one and the same because you were a bystander in that situation. It's really heavy. It's, to me, horrifying. The scenes of seeing the body cam footage from both of those events and how
Yeah.
intense and gripping it is, it'd be really fucking engaging. But yeah, dude, that's kind of what I'm thinking now. And I wanted to run that by you
Wait,
because
wait. So first of all, did that fascinating? All right, I'm sure we're going somewhere big with this, but the 70 pages that you wrote already, did that have anything to do with the cop stuff? No.
No, no,
Just
no, dude. 70 pages that I wrote are based on the short that I did called Cleanup, which is about that service that you know, provides families, like they clean up the residue from dead bodies that
oh, so
families.
that's not even in relation to the movie we're thinking about.
The
Is
movie
it?
that I'm pitching now would be the one that we would do, the next script that I would write.
That's got sorry. So you okay, makes sense. I misunderstood. So you haven't started writing the
No.
one. Gotcha. Fair. Oh, before I was saying, like, dude, I'm so proud. You've already written the movie that we're doing.
I mean, yeah, bro. No way, no way.
Yeah, fair. I'm sure it'll take even less time when you decide to do that too. But
Yeah.
no, okay. So all right. Uh I don't see the horror in it. So I'm shocked that you're excited about that. For one.
Dude, the horror in it
That's
is,
more drama. That's not horror. Or like,
I mean, I guess the picture that I painted is like a drama. And by the way, the best horror, like all of Ari Aster's stuff and everything, and Jordan Peele's stuff too, the best horror is if you strip away all of the horror elements, it still stands as a really strong drama. So
yeah,
all
I
that
mean,
I
look what you're
painted for
telling here.
you.
I just love that. Wow, that's kind of unexpected from your past. Yeah.
Well, yeah, dude. But so, and initially when we started having these conversations, we were like you didn't just want to make a horror also, right? Like as in like we can always just make something scary or whatever, but there's something about like the purge or things that are like topical.
But
But
you're saying, I assume that you're saying on the note of like police force, you also want to find the literal horror aspect, probably,
I
right?
would add my own elements of uh psychological horror, as in you see certain visuals because of the impact of what you went through, and then like the just like the residualness from that traumatic event, and your lack of action in that moment. So like the guilt and the survivor's guilt and like all that stuff would play a part in that. But the horror would come from specific visuals from your end.
Interesting. Wow. Well, first off, it sounds like you were really struck by the body cam footage in particular to the point where you're like, oh my gosh, I want to potentially make a movie about that. I a anything like that that's that heavy and like topical. I mean, even though it'd be dated on some level by the time it comes out, like it's got to me be like true. It's got to be like something from truth. Because then if it's not as good as the real thing, then it's just like, fuck, these guys for trying. Secondly, that'd be a lot more expensive, I think, doing a cop drama. That's not a reason to not try at it, but I just immediately I'm thinking like it's got to be, you got to have the cop cars and ambulance and all that crap and weapons and stuff. We might have to get Alec Baldwin's fight on set, fight coordinator, whatever. But then, and thirdly, mixing actual horror of supernatural almost with pop stuff. I don't think it's been done before that I recall, unless it was like in a slapstick way, like Scream or something. But true like psychology of a school shooting and horror, it could be that could be so tone deaf and as distasteful as it
Yep.
gets, but then it can also be potentially like a really interesting thing to feel out. So I'm definitely open to it, but yeah, it's not jumping out at me as like ripe for horror potential. And I kind of excited about horror because I know just this idea of making it an interesting story that happens to be genuinely scary to the audience. And
Okay,
it's
so
easy.
I've got another pitch for you that's completely different.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And
Well,
not
first
as
of all,
heavy too.
what's your thoughts on my thoughts on it?
Well, I wanted to get a vibe check. I'm not, again, bro, like I'm enough down this road now to I appreciate the feedback. I'm enough down this road where it's like if a certain project or whatever isn't right for this moment or whoever we're collabing with, as in you're like the centerpiece of this entire the reason we're doing this whole project, like I'll save that for another time. But I want something where you're super fucking stoked about it and we can just move on it. So I have another completely like 180 thing that I want to run by you.
I love it. Okay.
So Mickey Mouse, Steamboat Willie cartoon from like 1927 enters the public domain in 2024.
Wow.
This has massive potential. I don't know if you heard anything about that Winnie the Pooh horror film.
Yeah, I saw the poster.
It got like a 4% on Rotten Tomatoes, but it made like $3.5 million because it was like it's like a Disney cartoon or whatever that people are like, oh, this is really fucked because it's in the horror angle. If we were to do something called like the Steamboat Willie horror feature, it would be it would be in a way where like, so I know all the players that we want to work with, all the actors, everything. I don't have like a fully fleshed out concept or anything, but essentially
use that IP once it becomes public.
What's that?
But basically you're saying like, hey, maybe use that IP once it becomes public.
That's it, bro. Because here's the thing, we would get a shit ton of eyes on this. We would be able to do like, bro, it would be like the most fucked up. Like I could have an angle of this that's really grounded, that has real characters. I don't even have a formal pitch for you or whatever, but that would essentially be our entry point. Doesn't even have to have anything to do with
making a Mickey Mouse horror film would be hilarious. I would love to, but it's just okay. That's a ways away though. I think we got to make one before that too.
Make one before like because 2024 is a ways away.
Yeah.
But if we release, I mean, bro, it's already like March 30th. We can, like, when it comes to raising money, getting press, like we would probably, after we're done the whole post process and everything, it might be like October. You know what I mean?
I do. I think as far as getting psyched about it though, it's got to be something that we can like shoot to make, with the least amount of red tape possible.
Okay. So you're concerned because it's 2023 that we shouldn't start putting this into production?
Yeah. Because I don't, 2 weeks was too quick, but then 8 months away is a long time, especially in like low budget indie form. Like that's, I think we have opportunity to get started much faster than most films. But with that said, all things like a Mickey Mouse movie or Steamboat Willie movie that'd be a lot more expensive as well.
Well, the version that we would do, it wouldn't be expensive. But again, bro, if this is not like jumping out at you, that's totally cool too. Because I just want
to how would it not be expensive? Like to make something interesting about Mickey Mouse or Steamboat Willie, either things that's a lot of what jumps out at me is special effects.
It wouldn't, bro, we wouldn't have any special effects. We could tailor it to any budget. Just because it's like a popular brand wouldn't mean that we would need like special effects or anything like that.
No, just the sheer concept of bringing to life an object that doesn't normally live. Or let's say you do Mickey Mouse as a real life mouse. That means that you're bringing around a mouse or something, which by the way, all potential for like actual cool ideas. But I'm just saying,
here's a horrible pitch, but this is like a version of a low budget thing that you could do. Like you could literally have like a crazy, again, horrible pitch, but this is a low budget version. You could have like someone like dress up as the Mickey Mouse character who's a fucking serial killer and he goes around like killing people. Like
that's very good. That's very good.
But there are a million ways you could go with it. If that's the only,
oh yeah, it's true.
But I want to get a temperature read, as in like just broad strokes, without even thinking about budget or anything, because we can tailor that to anything while still making a dope movie. But do you have any interest in that, or should we move to the next one?
No, already actually, that is a good point. No, yeah, with something like that, I do I like to talk a little bit about potential directions to go with that. I need a little more than just yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So that is helpful. Um I'm open to that for sure, dude.
Okay.
Mickey Mouse. Has there really been nothing done on like the serial killer that dresses up as Mickey Mouse or something?
No, because it's been out of the public domain.
The SpongeBob killer. I mean,
Bro, you got it for that. You got to wait until, unless you want to pay insane amounts of money, you got to wait till like, I don't know, 2100 to put that into play.
might be worth it. I think yeah, I think that's definitely worth exploring. If we can come up with something interesting enough. Like some person who's like obsessed with Disney and they wanted to like have sex with Bob Iger. I don't know.
Okay. Out
Anyway.
of that, so bro, again, it's like broad strokes, but just I want to go into this meeting with Ken with like a singular idea that, I mean, bro, any idea that we take, like I would be able to tailor it so that you're incredibly interested. It's like very well written. It's really like
Totally.
Ken and I are
Honestly,
really good at just expanding stuff. So, but I'm talking about like the kernel of the idea. So like the kernel of the idea, I want to solidify. I'd love to solidify with you with this call. Like, what
yep.
is the number one that you like the most out of anything we talked about? Or we can pitch new stuff. That's totally fine too. But
So far for me, I want to explore the fitness cult thing with this step process. Um, and then I'm also still interested in the holes in the wall that like are awkward.
okay. So
Any
do you like those two more than Mickey?
uh yeah, a little bit more, tiny bit more.
Cool.
But the holes in the wall, I don't quite it's not enough yet to like really delve into that. It's got to still be like a concrete, I think, uh premise of some sort to
Yeah,
make it like
the only difference between the two is the the fitness cult. Like I sent you a fully developed outline, but like it's still broad strokes for the
totally.
holes in the wall. But I would say this, bro, like in terms of my excitement for the idea too, and like what I can bring to it, and even like enough excitement to finish a screenplay, like the holes in the wall is still, I'm still vibing with that. So
I'm
if
with
you're
you.
vibing,
I'm vibing. I would say that's more than just broad strokes for the holes in the wall. That's literally just a backdrop. That's all it is. It's not even broad strokes.
yeah,
There's
it's like atmosphere.
His atmosphere is there, which I'm
Yeah,
totally
yeah.
fine with. I'm just saying that's not enough to commit to for me personally yet. I love that you're down for that.
Okay.
But because the if like and you know, I'm not in the least way trying to be a downer because if you're excited about something, honestly, that's what matters a lot to me. But the fitness cult one at this point seems like something that we could really sink our teeth into. It would be fun to shoot that sort of thing
Okay.
at this point. But I look, I would talk. I'm so down and like talk to you about the holes in the wall one, and maybe we can come up with something. Or
Yeah. How about, okay, so let's go with the original plan. How about I meet with Ken, we try to develop this holes in the wall thing, see
yeah,
if we can come up with something, and I'll send it to you that day, and we'll see what you think, your notes, expand, whatever.
that sounds brilliant. Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good to me.
This is
Not that
great, bro. I'm glad. I'm also glad that we did this too, and I didn't like, we didn't like waste a day like developing like this police thing or whatever, like something else, you know. So it's
yeah.
good to know.
No, no, yeah. I mean, and no matter what, like me, I'm easy. So like whatever you guys want to do, I'm down to like brainstorm and see how we can all make it make sense and stuff. The police thing doesn't seem horror to me yet. Again, like it would need to be a little bit more
Dude,
Like,
so let me run this by you. If thinking about the horror of it, like if you were to have gone through this experience and then you're like in your room and like out the window you like see
really
like
feels like American Sniper to me. An American Sniper that he had PTSD, and that is no way, shape in the horror genre, right?
totally. But so like
As far as
again, like
tone goes.
all the horror in that pitch
Mhm.
is in the visuals that you see that is the PTSD. And you can extrapolate that to like whatever you want it to be. Like I'm thinking like you're seeing kids like just staring at you from like afar, or like you're seeing this it's like a grotesque version of this
Gotcha.
killer, you know?
That to not to burst your bubble, but that to me, the PTSD or like the visuals that are crazy is it's not enough. That's like that's a stretch. That just means like he's schizophrenic. Yeah, which is not enough for me.
Okay.
The horror's got to be right. And I'm not saying that's what you're even getting at too. I'm just merely on that example. But maybe I don't know. Is there other potential avenues with that concept with the police shooting thing? Maybe they go. Yeah, I don't know how you make that sort of like ethereal um celestial thing. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. I don't know how you make it horror.
Sure.
I think again, it'd have to be something that really is sick with that subject matter because it's such a weighted subject matter.
Yeah.
It couldn't just be, for instance, there's uh like World War II zombies, right? And that was in Call of Duty, Nazi zombies. That it's been long enough after that you can make it slapstick like that. We wouldn't necessarily make it slapstick, obviously, but anyway, I don't know. I'm getting brain dead. Find off this bug. Brutal. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, dude, it's totally fine. I just wanted to get a temperature read, but it seems like you're so to be totally honest,
Yeah.
the cult thing, I'm like I don't know. Like truly, I don't think I have enough enthusiasm to like finish a full script. That's just me.
Okay.
But I'm glad that you like the idea, you know. I want to assure you that I'm gonna be able to get a version of this
Yeah.
like of this dim rooms thing that you're gonna fucking love.
Sweet. Yeah, that sounds
Well,
great to
let's
me.
wait for it, bro. I'll spend the whole day with Ken. We'll come up with a very extensive outline. I'll throw it your way and we'll see what you think.
That sounds great, man. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's any other way to make the cult thing interesting. But I agree. I mean, with that, even you'd have to do it in some way that we haven't really seen lately, which is tough to do because it's been done a lot lately. Um,
Well, what elements of the cult thing do you love? Is it the it's like I know you said you want to do something with cults, like that's interesting.
it is. Well, I just brought it up
Like
again like yesterday. Like I
like
was saying, you know
everything.
what? I was just talking about sort of a horror thing. This might be interesting. I was talking to Harrison. Like I'm always pretty chilled on the road, but someone like did something pretty crazy on the road and tried to speed up to me and like go around me like crazy. And I was just thinking like, oh my gosh. I had the instinct of like be like, who the hell is this person? Like, I want to fight this person. This is insane. And I'm pretty good at just like diffusing that. But I can imagine the reason why there's so many datelines in 2020 is about people just snapping and killing someone is because I can imagine that feeling that I had, but times, 100 or something. That's what someone's got to. So I love the idea of exploring like people snapping. Like these days, there doesn't have to be that much of a motive anymore
Okay,
for killing. It's
I
just
like
like
that.
Yeah, like people
I like that.
snap, and it's sad, and but I
But it's
think
sad that they snap or people die.
not that people snap, that people die, and because of that, because and also I think these days obviously it's just so publicized. People don't really value human life in general enough, and it's just things. And also, there's a commentary that human life is fragile. So it's
Yeah.
like,
Human life is fragile. That's interesting.
I know, I kind of want to show that like on just a thin line, people decide, make a bad decision. It's a mistake. People make mistakes, so that's kind of the freaky thing.
So your uh fear in this case is like how quickly people can snap.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, bro. Okay.
I don't know, maybe there's something there.
Dude, fuck the dim rooms thing. The dim rooms thing. Because I want to make something. Here's the thing, bro. I can take anything that you're really stoked about because that's where I want to live in this because it started with us. I want to take any idea that you're really stoked about and I can extrapolate that to where I'm also really enthused about it.
Well, dude, I love it. I appreciate it. But honestly, just like the other thing too, where like you said that was broad strokes, and then we went like one step further into it and it got much more interesting. The dim room's like 2 degrees further. If we come up with like slight concept of what the story is, that
Sure,
might
but
become very interesting.
but at the same time, if we're talking about like a cheap feature to like
Mhm.
do that right, you
Yeah,
know,
that's true. That's a very good point.
yeah,
Um,
that'd take a little more. Okay, but what I'm hearing from you is this: people snapping and killing someone, explore that.
yeah, and maybe explore that through like a cult that recognizes that and says, "Hey, we have like a safe place for you to kill people." Something like that, Like to get all your snapping. I don't know, but that's something.
Okay, we'll see if we can involve a cult.
Or like doesn't have to be a cult, just some type of freaky thing that is like you using that notion of that, hey, people snap easy, and what do we do with that
Cool.
outside society? Something that like makes people think like, oh, maybe they started that with good intentions to help people, and it's like horrible. I like that stuff that starts with good intentions that is horrible.
So it actually, can you expand on that? Started
Yeah,
with good intentions and ended up horrible. Are you talking about it would come from the cult or like just individual people or what?
both. I mean, obviously, cult thing like Charles Manson, as an example, his cult was like trying to be free spirit and fun loving, but of course, well, hey, they ended up killing people to sustain that spirit to keep that alive. So on some level, they try to argue that it was well intentioned, but bad.
Hmm. So the initial intention is actually bad, but it's packaged as something good.
Possibly, but I even more am thinking like, I mean, people don't get into cults thinking that it's going to be bad. They get into it thinking like, oh, this is where I'm going to meet people,
Right.
good
Right.
intentions, bad things come out of it. They're trying to do a good cause or something, and it spirals in a negative way, where people see that it's not what they are masking it as, etc.
And I think it's interesting the whole thing about snapping, like that one guy, the doc on Netflix, The American Murder Next Door, about that guy who had the wife and two kids, and he seemed like just like a very, um, quiet spoken, whatever. He
Yeah.
kind of went through the motions, and then they went away on a trip. He had an affair. Because he had the affair, he wanted to exterminate his entire family. And then he just
Yeah.
one morning he choked out his wife, and then he killed his two kids.
I think I saw that too. Yeah. nuts. It's that type of stuff. Like, it's just like, whoa. Nothing in their life hinted at that, but yeah. Oh, jeez, my head's hurting now too. All right, brother. I think I should probably take off with this battery.
Yeah, sure, bro. I'll take this, bro. This is helpful. I'll take this into my meeting with Ken. And we already have the players of who we're thinking about, characters and stuff. So yeah, dude, I'll send you that outline on Saturday and get your thoughts.
You're awesome. Thank you so much, man. Yeah.
Thanks, brother. I'm excited about this.
As am I. And genuinely, like, I'm so open. I love like throwing out ideas, and I like that you say no bad ideas, because truly you have to get an idea. So I like that, like, not keeping it inside, like, get it out and don't judge it.
Yeah, dude, and 100% always be completely honest with your feedback and how you feel about shit and everything, because this is the stage that's the least expensive. We don't have any investment. We're not on a set. We're not rolling cameras. I don't give a fuck if we roll through. Like, dude, the amount of I've done like 100 shorts. Like, ideas are expendable. Like, I'm not attached to any singular thing, so we can always shift.
Cool. True that, my friend.
All right, bro. Feel better. Get some sleep.
Thanks, bud. I will. I feel
All
good
right.
tomorrow.
Talk soon. Bye.
Bye, bro.